Our saga begins with Will Rodman, a scientist at Genesis Laboratories, toiling away for 5 long years on ALZ-112, a retrovirus designed to cure Alzheimer's. Because, nothing says let's cure dementia like genetically upgrading chimpanzees to genius level. It's like saying, I'm going to fix this toaster by turning it into a spaceship. Genius move, Will. Enter Bright Eyes, a chimpanzee with a mind as sharp as a banana blade. However, things take a dramatic turn when Bright Eyes channels her inner action hero and goes on a rampage. Picture this, a highly intelligent chimp wreaking havoc, and security has to step in, turning her into the world's smartest casualty. But, plot twist. Bright Eyes was just protecting her secret baby. It's like a soap opera, but with more fur and fewer melodramatic stares. Now, enter Stephen Jacobs, the supervisor with a supervillain name. He decides to shut down the chimp experiment faster than you can say banana split. And poor Robert Franklin, the chimp handler, can't bring himself to execute a baby chimp. And so, Caesar, the baby with a destiny, is adopted by Will and raised in the lap of human luxury. Cut to 3 years later, and Caesar has become the monkey Mozart of intelligence. He's learning sign language, understanding quantum physics, and probably contemplating the meaning of life while sipping on a banana smoothie. Will's dad even gets a taste of the viral upgrade, turning into a temporary genius until his immune system hits the unsubscribe button. Classic mix-up, right? Now, let's talk about Hunziker, the grumpy neighbor who probably never got a hug as a child. He decides to mess with the Rodman family, and that's when Caesar steps in. With a bite that would make a crocodile proud, Caesar leaves Hunziker fingerless. It's like a Tarantino movie, but with more hair and fewer samurai swords. Caesar, now a symbol of simian justice, finds himself in the San Bruno primate shelter, run by the not-so-animal-friendly John Landon and his son, Dodge. Life in the shelter is no monkey picnic, with cruel treatment and apes living in cages like it's a bizarre episode of Ape Survivor. But fear not, for Caesar forms alliances with Maurice, an orangutan with a flair for sign language, and Buck, a giant gorilla who probably bench presses tree trunks in his free time. Our genius chimp, Caesar, hatches an escape plan that involves a stolen pocket knife and some impressive knot-tying skills. He turns the shelter into a jungle-themed escape room, proving that when life gives you lemons, make a monkey out of it. It's like The Great Escape, but with furrier escape artists. Meanwhile, back at Genesis, Will is cooking up a new and improved virus, ALZ-113, because apparently, the first one wasn't exciting enough. Tests begin on chimps, and, surprise surprise, it turns out this new virus is deadly to humans. Franklin, the unlucky scientist, gets a face full of virus and meets an untimely end, proving once again that in science, trial and error often leads to the latter. Will, having a moment of moral clarity, decides to warn Jacobs about the deadly virus, but Jacobs is like, nah, let's roll the dice on this one. Will, clearly tired of playing genetic Russian roulette, quits his job, leaving the lab in a cloud of morality dust. Now, let's talk about Caesar's grand escape. The dude breaks free, steals some ALZ-113 canisters, and releases the virus throughout the shelter. Suddenly, it's a simian IQ explosion, and the apes are officially the smartest beings on the block. Caesar, now the alpha genius, looks around and thinks, it's time for a plan. In a jaw-dropping moment, Caesar speaks for the first time, yelling in "oh," like a furry Shakespearean actor. Dodge, the not-so-friendly guard, gets a taste of his own medicine, and suddenly, the apes are running the show. It's like a revolution, but with more chest-pounding and fewer political speeches. Caesar, being the strategic genius that he is, divides his forces and sets his sights on the Golden Gate Bridge. It's the ultimate showdown, with apes on one side, humans on the other, and chaos in the middle. Maurice leads the high-wire circus act, Buck takes the underwater route, and Caesar faces the police head-on. It's a battle of wits, brawn, and a little bit of monkey business. But wait, here comes Jacobs in a helicopter, thinking he's the hero of the story. Little does he know, Koba, the scarred bonobo with a grudge, has plans of his own. The helicopter crash lands, Buck sacrifices himself, and Koba gives Jacobs a one-way ticket to the afterlife. It's like a Hollywood blockbuster, but with fur instead of explosions. As the apes make their triumphant escape into Muir Woods, Will arrives, trying to be the voice of reason. Caesar, now capable of basic human speech, hugs Will and declares, Caesar is home. It's a moment of understanding between man and ape, a bridge between two worlds. And just when you thought the story was over, a mid-credit scene drops the bombshell. Hunziker, infected with the deadly virus, is unwittingly spreading the simian flu as he boards a flight. Flight maps light up like a global infection chart, showing the virus spreading across continents. Decades since the simian flu threw humanity for a loop, and now the apes are running the show. Our story kicks off in the Muir Woods, where the apes, now super smart thanks to the simian flu, have set up shop. Meanwhile, the remaining humans, who are about as common as a sober sloth after a caffeine binge, are desperate for power. And where do they think they'll find it? Yep, you guessed it, in the ape's backyard. Led by the optimistically named Malcolm, a group of humans venture into ape territory. Now, folks, this isn't your typical neighborhood. It's ruled by Caesar, the brainy ape-in-chief, who's not too keen on having humans in his treehouse. Tensions rise, and just when it looks like it's going to be an all-out ape versus human showdown, Malcolm steps in like the voice of reason. He convinces Caesar to give peace a chance and let the humans work on a dam that could bring power back to San Francisco. But, oh, there's always a but. Koba, the ape with a chip on his shoulder the size of the Golden Gate Bridge, doesn't trust humans. He's got a personal vendetta, having been a lab rat in his pre-super smart ape days. Koba's the monkey wrench in the peace plan, stirring up trouble faster than you can say banana. As Malcolm and his family bond with the apes while fixing the dam, things seem peachy. But hold on to your bananas, because trouble's brewing. Koba, with a serious case of ape envy, discovers a human armory. This guy's got a grudge, and he's not afraid to use it. Accusing Caesar of being a human sympathizer, Koba sets the stage for betrayal. Dreyfus, the human leader back in San Francisco, ain't sitting around sipping coconut water. He arms the humans, and with Koba pulling strings in the shadows, it's clear this is a recipe for disaster. The tension escalates until Koba pulls the ultimate dirty move. He frames the humans for Caesar's apparent death and sets the ape colony ablaze. Koba takes the reins, and it's wartime. Apes versus humans, round 1. Koba's got the upper hand, but the real kicker is when he shoots Caesar. The ape world is turned upside down, and Koba's no longer just a thorn in Caesar's side, he's the full-blown monkey on his back. In the chaos, Malcolm's family discovers the wounded Caesar and takes him back to San Francisco for some much-needed TLC. A family reunion for the ages, right? But wait, there's hope. Blue Eyes, Caesar's son, joins forces with Malcolm to save his old man. As the apes and humans clash in a tower of doom, the real villain emerges, Dreyfus, armed with explosives and a willingness to bring the whole house of cards down. It's a race against time as Caesar faces off with Koba, and Dreyfus makes a last-ditch attempt to wipe out the apes. Dreyfus's plan backfires spectacularly, leaving Caesar and Koba in a final showdown. Monkey business takes on a whole new meaning as Caesar triumphs over Koba, sending him plummeting into the abyss. But there's no time for victory dances, folks, because the human military is on the horizon. In a moment of ape wisdom, Caesar urges Malcolm to take his family and leave before the inevitable clash between apes and humans. And so, as Malcolm heads for safety, Caesar stands tall, preparing the apes for the war that's about to descend upon them. And there you have it, dawn of the Planet of the Apes, where alliances are fragile, trust is a rare commodity, and war looms on the horizon. So, whether you're rooting for the apes, the humans, or just hoping for a sequel with even more intelligent monkeys, one thing's for sure, the planet is still spinning, and it's got a lot more monkey business in store.
Alright, hold on to your bananas, folks, because we're diving into the wild world of War for the Planet of the Apes. Picture this. Caesar, the ape with more swagger than a chimpanzee in a tuxedo, is leading his crew through the post-apocalyptic wilderness, trying to find a safe haven away from those pesky humans. But hold up, because the humans aren't exactly rolling out the welcome mat. Nope, they've got a bone to pick with Caesar and his furry friends, and they're not afraid to send in the big guns, literally. Cue the Alpha Omega militia, led by the stone-cold colonel, who's about as friendly as a crocodile at a tea party. Meanwhile, Caesar's dealing with some serious family drama. His son, Blue Eyes, and his wife get taken out by the militia, mistaking Blue Eyes for Caesar himself. Talk about a case of mistaken identity. And poor Cornelius, Caesar's youngest, is left to pick up the pieces. But fear not, because Caesar's not about to let his family's sacrifice go to waste. With his loyal crew by his side, including the wise orangutan Maurice and the tough-as-nails Rocket, he sets out on a quest for revenge that's more epic than a monkey on a unicycle. Along the way, they meet some unlikely allies, like Bad Ape, a hilarious hermit with a heart of gold and a knack for survival. Seriously, this guy's like the MacGyver of the ape world, with a side of sass that'll make you snort your banana smoothie. But things take a turn for the worse when Caesar and his crew get captured by the colonel and his goons. Cue the torture, the starvation, and the general unpleasantness that comes with being locked up in a creepy quarantine facility in the mountains. Talk about a vacation gone wrong. But fear not, because Caesar's got a plan. With the help of Nova, a sweet little girl who's got more guts than a barrel of monkeys, he hatches a daring escape plan that's more thrilling than a chimpanzee on a tightrope. Of course, no heroic journey would be complete without a dramatic showdown. As the bullets fly and the explosions rock the mountainside, Caesar faces off against the colonel in a battle of wits and wills that'll leave you on the edge of your seat. And just when you think it's all over, Caesar makes the ultimate sacrifice to save his fellow apes, triggering an avalanche that buries the facility and the military in one fell swoop. Talk about going out with a bang. As the dust settles and the apes find refuge in their new home, Maurice vows to carry on Caesar's legacy, promising that his son, Cornelius, will know the true hero his father was. And with that, Caesar peacefully succumbs to his wounds, leaving behind a legacy that'll echo through the ages. So there you have it, folks.